This is the Life's Journey with Best Friends podcast. Listen as two best friends for over 40 years share our experiences, insights, and unique stories. Hi, BFFers. We talk a lot about aging ungracefully on our podcast and are always looking at ways to improve our overall health.
One of the ways to do that is to purchase quality products that are high in nutrition.
Natural Food Exchange is passionate about providing you with the highest quality, natural, and organic products. They are dedicated to promoting a healthy lifestyle through a carefully curated selection of nutritious foods, supplements, and wellness products.
Check out Natural Food Exchange in person at 39 Pleasant Street, Unit 1A in Stoneham, or visit their website, naturalfoodexchange.com.
Get 15% off of your order when you use the code BFF15 or use the QR code on our website at www.lifesjourneywithbestfriends.com.
This episode will include suggestions for nutritional supplements to support immune health. Always check with your doctor before trying any new medications.
All right, so welcome to our episode on seasonal illnesses with a special focus on the flu. As we enter the colder months, many of us become concerned about staying healthy amidst the rise of, common ailments. Today, we're excited to have our friend Eric from the Natural Food Exchange with us to explore natural remedies and holistic approaches and preventing, some of the flu symptoms. But while vaccinations are often discussed, we're going to dive into the world of herbal treatments, dietary tips, lifestyle changes that can support our immune system during this flu and cold season, actually, and COVID and everything else that's out there. So if you're looking for natural ways to bolster your health and navigate this time of year, this conversation is for you. So welcome, Eric. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. So before we get started, I have been drilled by my wife to say that the first and foremost thing is a healthy lifestyle. And thank you for mentioning that, because
yes, absolutely. Yep.
Mari would shoot me when I got home tonight if I did not mention that the first and foremost. So for those of you who have not met my lovely wife, she has an underlying health condition called sarcoidosis. So preventative, healthy lifestyle choices keep her from having flare-ups. So That's a big deal. I mean, she's fine, but she does tend to get sicker when, so what might, I might get a sore throat for 2 days. That same sore throat might kick her butt for 2 weeks in some way, shape, or form, because the sarcoidosis flares up. It creates inflammation. She typically will get pneumonia on some level, and she will be affected by what for us might be a minor inconvenience.
Right,
becomes like a 10-day affair. So it
causes inflammation with her. Is that what the issue?
Sarcoidosis it's an inflammation disorder, and what it basically is when you or I have a virus, a bacteria, whatever it is, our white blood cells pigpile on it and encapsulate it. And then that gets reabsorbed by our body. It renders, say, the pathogen inert, gets surrounded by white blood cells, and then that slowly gets just absorbed back into the body. With sarcoidosis, they become little granules. And they can take there's a wide spectrum of, people and how they're afflicted, but essentially it can take a lot longer to absorb, or they may become permanent. So, and they can be in all different parts of your body. For her, it's in the lining of her lungs. So breathing and inflammation, like a flu, she would most likely, it would become pneumonia, and breathing is the biggest concern for her, which is one of the things I was going to mention. A lot of this depends on how the flu affects you. So everybody seems to have slightly different. I don't have tonsils, so I get a sore throat. If I get even a head cold, it always ends up in my throat. So like mullein, which is herbal remedy that's in tinctures and teas and you name it is good for your throat.
Okay.
So slippery elm, so is marshmallow. My grocery
Like
buyer,
marshmallow?
marshmallow root.
I thought you meant like marshmallow.
Marshmallow root.
Okay.
You can get it in tea form. I'm told that the tea is not super tasty, so I would tend to get a capsule, but that can help with the cough and kind of reduce symptoms.
What would you do for preventative maintenance?
If you want preventative, something above and beyond whatever it is you're normally taking, be that absolutely nothing or taking, a handful of like a multivitamin or something, something else. I would start with, some of the options specifically for viral and the flu would be elderberry. Elderberry is good. Some people take it prophylactically. They take it like a little shot of the syrup every morning during cold and flu season.
Okay.
That would be the traditional supplement that someone would take. It's a syrup. It's, kids can take it. It's relatively sweet. But you can also just take it in capsules. I do everything in capsules because I'm lazy. I want to line them up like tequila shots, take them in the morning, and then be done. But you can take it in little tinctures. You can take it in a syrup, whatever floats your boat. There's no right or wrong answer. The other option would be oregano oil. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Oh yeah, it's very strong. It smells like pizza.
Smells like my grandmother's kitchen.
Yeah, it does. It smells like you're making a pizza or a lasagna or something. And
yes, it's very strong. For some people, it's a little too strong. It's very potent. But
okay.
that would be those, without going down a whole laundry list. Those would be the top two, I would say, for preventative. And if you think you're getting sick, you can also take those.
Okay.
For me, if I was going into a situation that is above and beyond my daily exposure to things, so let's say you're going to fly to Florida and you're going to take the kids to Disneyland. I personally, I will take a spray called Myco Shield, and it's essentially a mushroom version of Banaka breath. There's 3-4 different flavors. There's licorice, citrus, peppermint, cinnamon, and it coats your throat. And they can't officially say, I'm not saying they're antiviral, but there are some studies that it can kill pathogens. And for me, not having tonsils, as we said, depends on what the priorities are.
Right.
For me, anytime I go on a plane, I bring one of these or two of these, carry them in different bags, and I will definitely hit during the flight, before the flight, after the flight. Might be a little obsessive, but they taste pretty good. Like I don't mind the taste. They're just like a strong breath spray, like a breath mint kind of flavor, depending on what you get. But they seem to work very well, at least for me. I like them. And if I feel like, I'm getting something, I'll hit where my tonsils used to be. And for me, at least, it helps. So that would be, if I'm going into above and beyond, if I'm going into a situation like, say you're going to a bunch of parties, you're taking a train that you don't normally take, you're going on a flight, that would be my throw it in your pocket and just use as needed to kind of suffer. So it wouldn't be something that you necessarily would wake up every morning and hit as part of your like daily vitamins.
Yep.
But that would be something that I'd be keeping around with me if I felt like I was getting additional exposure at, say, Christmas parties or
sure. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like with Thanksgiving coming up, or going out to all apple picking or whatever, all that
or
stuff.
Midnight Madness, the day after Thanksgiving, and you're
all the
stuck in line, and the person next to you is sneezing, that would be what I would take. If you are sick, so if you actually think you have a viral infection like the flu, don't ask me to pronounce this. I'm going to put it right up close so everybody can see it.
Okay.
Also, so this actually, in my family's experience, will mitigate the flu-like symptoms.
Really?
It comes in. I'm going to open this one up because this one I was just going to take home with me. It's by a company called Boreon, which is out of France. Fancy. That is a homeopathic company. They make a lot of good products. I mean, I wish they were paying me to say this, but they're not. But these little like pellet. There's pellets in there. They don't taste bad. Even my 8-year-old will take them. And if you feel like you're getting sick, you take them you take multiple ones during the day, and you kind of blast your immune system, and it will lessen the effects of the flu. It's not going to cure you,
right,
because it's a virus, but
sure.
It's definitely, my wife, my kids, myself, we've had pretty good luck with this.
Right.
And that it's an easy one to just kind of keep as like emergency supply. So
Yep.
if you did feel like you were, run down around the holidays and you think something's coming on, immediately hit that multiple times during the day. And that seems to actually, we've had good luck with that. So those would be, So that would be, a lot of this is very dependent on how your body is affected by a cold. Like when you get sick, is there a particular, like, do you get a sore throat? Do you get a fever? Do you get
goes right to my sinuses. Mine goes
sinuses. Okay. So I would do quercetin, or something that there are I would do respiratory things like quercetin, vitamin C, vitamin D is good for immunity. I mean, that the laundry list I picked a couple of the heavy hitters.
Yep.
But like quercetin, vitamin C, and something that reduces inflammation would probably be beneficial.
That makes sense. So I just started to take that. So when I went down to visit Diana in South Carolina, I ended up coming home with bronchitis. I don't know if we partied too much or if it was from the airplane or whatever it was. And so my husband had already started taking all of his daily vitamins. He never got sick. He didn't get, and when he gets sick, he gets it in his lungs. It's always his throat and his lungs. I get it in my sinuses. And so I started to take a multivitamin, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and never ever went to my sinuses.
Good. Those are all excellent choices. So if he gets it in his lungs, I would say consider NAC, which is around here somewhere. It's literally just the 3 letters, NAC. Okay. Kamari will take that daily because of her inflammation in her lungs. But that was one of the most popular things during COVID, which is similar to a flu virus, that would reduce the inflammation in his lungs.
Okay, that's exactly what he needs, because what they did, I went too long, and I ended up having to go on prednisone. But for him, he doesn't necessarily need a rescue inhaler, but he has an inhaler that they typically, his lung issues anyways. So, but that's good to know that, when he does have that, he knows as soon as it's coming on, he can probably start taking that, and it'll probably relieve his symptoms.
The NAC, I would definitely, I would say look at that, because Kamari has very good luck. So Kamari, if the sarcoidosis flares up, it's prednisone, which we desperately try to avoid. And the thing that we will double down on and take a bunch of is NAC, specifically because it can reduce the inflammation in the lungs.
Yeah, I tried. Yeah, I tried everything like at first, and I was just like, okay, it was the cough that was, getting to me. So that's what they were trying to get rid of. But, if I had thought about it earlier, like you said, and get that spray. So I actually have a picture of everything. I keep looking over this way, but I have a picture of everything that you sent to me. That mushroom myco shield. Like, I'm definitely going to get that because I know I got it from some of the ickiness on the plane or whatever. It was, people were coughing. What are you going to do? You're in this enclosed area.
Yeah, you have no choice. The other thing that I would suggest, especially if people are traveling, is consider adding a digestive enzyme to
Why?
whatever you take. So it ties into the immunity concept that we're doing. 70% of our immune system is based in our gut.
Okay.
So if your gut is not functioning, it's putting undue stress on the rest of your immune system. So if you're traveling, you're eating out more, you're eating in strange places, you don't know the quality of the food sometimes.
Yep.
You're probably also overindulging, especially around the holidays. Oh, I'm going to have a piece of cheesecake. Oh, let me try that, dessert. So yep. I actually take one of these daily. And I've been doing that for almost a year, and I actually feel better. I feel like I'm processing food better. If you feel like a little bloated, sometimes if you have, say, gluten, you're not celiac, but, sometimes you react to having too much carbs or pasta or meat. It breaks down the food more effectively, which can also translate into you're getting more vitamins and you're getting more nutrients from what you're eating.
That makes
sense.
It will help because your body's breaking it down better and helping for your body to absorb it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So if you start, but this goes into, I do that all year.
Right.
So I don't necessarily, but if I'm going to a cookout or, for the purposes of this, if I was going to a Christmas party, I might take an extra digestive enzyme just to help me break down, we're all human. I'd like to say, I'm going to be eating carrots while I'm surrounded by you guys and everybody else is, but, who are we kidding? Yeah. Like, we're all going to go a little bit off kilter. But
you gotta have fun. You gotta
enjoy. Yeah, it's all moderation, but that can process. So that can help you process things a little bit more efficiently. And like I said, 70% of your immune system is based in your gut. So if you're helping that work better, you're helping with your overall immunity, which is the intended purpose of taking, mega doses of vitamin C or echinacea or some of the other things we didn't hit on. Right. But the whole purpose is to boost have a high functioning response to anything, and it can start with what you put into your body and what you're able to extract for nutrients.
Right, that completely makes sense. If you go into this season with a higher immunity, you even if you end up getting the flu or anything else, it won't be as bad because your body is already ready to start fighting it and your inflammation is down. So that completely makes sense. I never thought of that.
Yeah, it's if you start from a better, if you start from a healthier point, you can fight off the infection.
Yeah. Absolutely. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and then that goes back to what you said your wife was saying, a healthy lifestyle.
That may have come up 3-4 times during the conversation I had with her today. Like, hey, what are we going to talk about on the podcast? I'm like, okay, all right. I don't want no problems.
We should have her on next time. Now, is there anything specific that you would recommend to either stay away from or, let me rephrase that. So for little kids, are there things that you would recommend for them to be able to take, or stuff that you say, no, you should stay away from this? It's only
for they should stay away from heroin.
Yeah.
I've heard it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So kids, are gonna get, I mean, my opinion, I think kids are going to get just sick. It helps their immune system.
Yep, I agree.
So I don't think like putting them in like the boy in the bubble is necessarily a good thing.
Yep.
A lot of the things that are here, elderberry syrup, I don't know that you get a kid to take oregano.
I don't think so.
I don't, even the most Italian kid is gonna, that's a strong thing to ask.
Right.
But there are versions of this that you can get kids to take with varying degrees of success. The Boreon product, Cassidy, my 8-year-old, will take this no problem.
Okay.
So that it's basically sugar pill. I mean, it's sugar pill sprayed with things to reduce.
So it the sugar helps medicine go down, right? So,
yeah, it's not the greatest thing in the world for everybody, but it's very palatable for people. So and there are tinctures, so you can get even the oregano oil. If the kid is a teenager or something, you put it in a glass of water and just shoot it back and just stop complaining. But a lot of this stuff is available either in a liquid, like you can get liquid multivitamins, you can get the spray, the Myco Shield. My kids, my sons who are teens will take that no problem. I made the mistake when Cassidy was like 4 years old, the last time we went on a plane, whatever that was, and said, "Hey, Cassidy, I want you to, here, open your mouth." And I sprayed it. It was like I maced my daughter. It was awful. My wife looks at me, "What flavor was that?" I said, "It was cinnamon." "She hates cinnamon. What is wrong with you? Don't you?" And I go, like, the poor kid. She was like, "Ah!" She ran, like her mouth was open, like, yeah. So test the flavors. Maybe a peppermint next time for her. But there's also, you can get, there's some very good Manuka lozenge. Manuka is honey from New Zealand that is supposed to have better antibacterial properties.
Heard about that. Like people they're talking about that is better than even your local honey that, but it is very expensive, I've heard. So
it is more expensive. The thought process is that it's made from a specific pollen, like it's because it's that, so it's purported to have better like topical properties. People can put it on wounds, and honey you can put on wounds.
Yeah, right.
It's supposed to be better for that purpose. It's supposed to be it's not, if it depends on the intended purpose. So if you were someone who came in looking to use honey to reduce seasonal allergies, you're still better off with the local product, because the whole point of that is you want a local honey that has sampled pollen from local flora. And that's from New Zealand. That doesn't work. So it depends on the purpose. Depends on the purpose. But so there's kid-friendly options for a lot of these, like slippery elm you can get in lozenge form pretty easily. This is a throat spray for Mullen that I happen to just grab off the shelf, but there's tinctures and teas, and also so you could hit the kid's throat with that before they scream at you and then run away quickly. I'm sure you'd be fine. The thing is everybody's wired differently. Yep. So we just had someone in here that was looking for melatonin, and then I'm lucky that Julie, you should have Julie on, if she would. She's averse to being in front of the camera, but she's actually very knowledgeable. When talking to the woman, she has a bad reaction to melatonin. So she's like, "What the? Don't take it. Don't take it. Here, there's other options."
Why would you take it?
Well, because some people don't know another option. I think the conversation went, where's the melatonin? Okay, here it is. And then, is it common to get nightmares? Is it common to do? And she's like, "No, don't do that." We have so a lot of people just don't know. I mean, it's, so I'm fortunate that I have, good staff that can talk people through that. But my point is that everybody reacts to things differently. So you react to whatever is in NyQuil, you build up a tolerance or something pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Other people take melatonin consistently and think it's the greatest thing in the world. It's great. It's cheap. It works. Fantastic.
Right.
Sometimes I wake up like, I'm hungover with melatonin, so I tend to not take it. Like I'll wake up very groggy afterwards. But everybody's the body chemistry is very different.
Yeah. Luckily, knock on wood, I don't have an issue sleeping, so I've never had to take that. But I know people that the same thing. They're groggy for like the whole day the next day. So
right. So when
sensitive to it, yeah.
Yeah. So when I've experimented with it, I've realized that's not for me.
So your staff, you said, is very knowledgeable. So
yes.
Let all our local listeners know where your location is at.
So we are in Stoneham at 39 Pleasant Street, unit 1. We're in the back of the building. It's an old, it's actually a pretty building. It's a 3-story old train station. And we're in the back of the building, unit 1A. But if you're not around, we have partnered with this podcast to give you a coupon.
Yep.
So you can go to our Natural Food Exchange online store, and then you can get 15% off if you use the coupon code associated with Life's Journey.
Yep. So use that. So, and I know that if you go into the store, when we went into the store, I was shocked at how huge it was, Eric. I could not believe it just went on forever.
The store? Yeah.
I was so surprised.
Yeah, it's about 3,800 square feet. It's larger than you think it is.
Oh, absolutely. I was like, there's another room. There's another room. It was crazy. So it was fun to see all of the stuff. I know we bought a bunch of stuff, but now that it's online, because I live in New Hampshire and you are in Massachusetts, it's easier to order some stuff online. So that's great. I'm so happy that you're doing that. So
yeah, I'm excited. It was a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But yes, we have online. We're starting to ship out some things, so it's an exciting new aspect of the store.
Right, which is great. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. Well, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for all of this information. I'm sure everyone is going to absolutely, love to hear it and maybe do their own little research or go into the store and ask some of your employees some questions.
Absolutely.
Find out a little bit more of what.
If they have questions, shoot them my way, or we can. I'm happy to answer them.
That would be awesome.
I'm not afraid to talk, as we can.
Yes, we know. Yeah, and we appreciate that so much. So thank you.
No problem.
So if you go, what is your website? What's the website?
It's naturalfoodexchange.com, all one word.
So when you go to the online area and anything that you purchase, when you check out, use the promo code BFF and you'll get 15% off in anything.
BFF15.
Sorry, you're right. BFF15. And anything over $60 is free shipping. Is that correct?
Ships for free.
Awesome. So guys, check that out. There's a lot on there, and there's a lot of information on there too. So you can read up about all the different things that Eric has talked about today.
And shoot us a question. I'll be the one answering it. So take it with a grain of salt.
Well, thank you so much, Eric, for joining us. We really appreciate it. And can't wait to be on your podcast soon.
Soon, yeah. Let's set it up. That would be fun.
Right. That sounds good.
You've been listening to Life's Journey with Best Friends. For details on any of the things we've mentioned in the podcast, including photos, visit our website lifesjourneybff.com. You can also email us at lifesjourneybff@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, or Threads.
Remember, no matter where life takes you, you are never alone when you have a best friend by your side. Until next time.